Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit that subscribe button if you're new so you don't miss any of our great football content this season. You know, it's interesting. I love to see all the Florida schools really good, and I'll wait for the Gators, but I mean, Florida State, Norvell can recruit. Mario Cristobal is an unbelievable recruiter. I mean, they looked like, they had a swagger. They were physical. That O-line is something else. That's what he does. I mean, it was Les Miles who used to build good O-lines. That thing was just, Notre Dame couldn't get a pass rush. And my kind of takeaway is the SEC has always needed the state of Florida. And I'm not sure Mario's letting a lot out of Dade County because that and Norvell, I looked at those teams. I'm like, those boys, this is real football. And I remember when I was in Vegas out of college, they used to put the Florida State game on at 9 a.m. out west. I'm not joking. That's how college football has grown. Now you have the big noon kickoff, but for about 15 years there was a hole early in the day. That's why Fox went after it. I mean, it used to be college football biggest games they put at 9 a.m. and it's all of a sudden, oh wait, this has a big audience. We got to push this back in the afternoon. But when I was watching Miami this weekend, I've always felt, Josh, there's 3 glamour programs in the country. USC, Texas, and Miami. Doesn't mean they're the best, but they're glamour programs. They're sex appeal. Austin, Coral Gables, Los Angeles. They feel different. Kirk Herbstreit once said when Pete Carroll was at USC, he goes, "It's not pro, but it's not college either. Yeah. It's somewhere in the middle." So I'm rooting for Lincoln Riley. I'm really rooting for Mario Cristobal and Steve Sarkisian. Is Miami? I mean, Notre Dame's legit. I mean, they jumped out to a 21-7 lead. I thought that thing was going to get ugly. I mean, Carson Beck has time. I always feel like it's hard not to be legitimate, college or pro. Penn State this year, if you have a dominant offensive line, it could be the Eagles or the Lions or the Ravens in the NFL. It could be Penn State this year. And I watch Miami's O-line, Josh, and I'm like, oh, they can play with anybody. If Carson Beck may not be great, but with time, I don't know. My interpretation of Miami was they're going to be a handful.
First off, think about what you just said about the glamour programs. And there was an extended stretch there where college football is just surging. Yeah. USC, Texas, and Miami are nowhere to be found. That right. Doesn't disprove your point. What it says is imagine the turbo booster that adds to that scalability if they're all collectively viable.
Did you see the Texas Ohio State number today? 17 million people watched.
Noon, man. Noon. Unbelievable. Big noon kickoffs going nowhere, dude. Yeah, that was unbelievable. I've always defended the noon kickoffs. I love them because I can get home that night. And the sunburn on the forehead's still there from Saturday, but I loved it. Yeah. So I can't remember when it was. It was like before their Wake Forest game last week. I flew down to Miami to visit with the staff, watched practice. When I go to Miami practice, Mario brings you right out there on the field. You stand right behind the line of scrimmage during good on good. And he says, he's giving you play-by-play as practice is going on. He says, I want you to watch something. I want you to keep an eye on 70. So 70, I don't have my eye on him. He's in my peripheral vision. It's a kid named Markel Bell. It is now their starting left tackle. He is 6'9", 360 at this point last year. He says, watch this. We got this kid out of JUCO in Mississippi. So he steps in. I've never seen humanity like that. I've just never seen humanity move like that. He said, not this year. Next year, just circle number 70 next year. So you got Francis Mawanoa at right tackle, who's a surefire first day NFL guy. Left tackle the other night. I think a lot of the world got introduced to Markel Bell. They have built that thing. They have built that offensive line the way that you would expect Mario Cristobal to build an offensive line. But what ate them up last year was the obvious. They wasted Cam Ward, just like LSU wasted Jaden Daniels a couple of seasons ago. LSU course corrected with their defensive hires, and now they're reaping the benefits. Mario went to Minnesota and got Corey Heatherman, and first thing I asked him is it a 2-year thing? He said, no, we're about to hit the portal. We will get this thing fixed. And so, okay, everyone can say that. They get through spring. They get halfway into fall camp. I check in again. And a lot of the feedback from Miami, Colin, was running game's going to be there. We've got no question about Carson Beck. Everyone questioning him. They'll be silenced soon enough. But I kept being told, watch our secondary. because that'll be the key to our season, because we could not stop anything through the air last year. We think we hit on all these guys out of the portal. And if we're right, it is the portal, so it's a crapshoot. But if we're right, then there's no limit to what we can do this year. So it's a one-game sample size, new quarterback and C.J. Carr on the road. There wasn't a lot of business to be had through the air against them the other night either. And so if that's the case, if they hit on quarterback, early returns they did. If that secondary is even just a net neutral, much less a positive, they are like the Swiss Army knife. That's what I prefer in a team, to pick them. I want to know that you could win a game 38-31 if you need to. I love you in a 19-16 slugfest too. They're the kind of team that's very multifaceted, but I don't want to get excited because consistency and performance has bitten them. Late game situationals have bitten them. So again, it is trust but verify with Miami. But if they are back, think about what we saw from Clemson the other night. Not a conference game, but think about what we saw from Georgia Tech. Clemson goes to Tech in a few weeks. Think about the ACC. Florida State. Miami goes to Florida State within the month. Like, the ACC is about to have the volume turned up on it really quick, and I cannot handicap that thing right now. That thing's up in the air.
Yeah, Mario struggled on the road at Oregon. He did not struggle in recruiting. He did not struggle at home. He would go on the road. Sometimes his clock management, we saw that against Notre Dame, a little dubious, but I love Miami, and it fires me up. Let's end with this. And by the way, for the regular listeners of my show, when I noticed Josh Pate over 2 years ago, I had told people, I'm like, this kid, he even knows West Coast football. And a lot of Southern college football writers don't really follow it, and you do.
They don't go out there, Colin. They don't go out. If they'd go to – I had to go to a Washington game to get it. But when I went for that Oregon game a couple of years ago, I got it. When I went to a Utah game, I love it out there. Now, people in the South think I'm lying when I say that. I ain't lying about it, man. It's unbelievable if you can get out there. It's just, I grew up in rural Georgia. So, Seattle might as well be on the moon. Eugene might as well be Russia to us. But if you ever get out there, it's awesome.
So I like Lincoln Riley. I know him. But if you don't follow recruiting, until a year ago, they really didn't aggressively recruit Los Angeles. Right. And it was very off-putting to the people here. It'd be like, Kirby Smart ignoring Georgia. Now they've gone full bore into it, and they have one or two or top three recruiting class in 2026. It's a lot of Southern California kids, as it should be. I think kids, when you recruit the local kid, mom and dad are in town, they're less likely to get in trouble. Mom and dad read the paper. I like the local kid. They're showing off for their buddies and their friends. You get away from home sometimes, it can change a young man's personality. I don't know if Lincoln Riley can create a culture. I know he can coach. I mean, he 12 wins, 11 wins, 9 wins, 11 wins at Oklahoma. When he took over USC, I'm here to tell you, man, they had about 28-30. I was told this by somebody on Lincoln staff. They had about 30 guys that could play at USC, and very few were good. Their best players were Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison, and then they were coming from other programs. But I don't know if he's a culture builder. I've watched last year they go to Maryland. I mean, they led in almost every football game. They couldn't close games out, and closing games out is fundamentally about physicality. It's a 7-minute drive. Winning games comes in a variety of forms. Closing games out when you lead is physical football. 3 first downs, close it down. They couldn't do it. Their running back room is good. Do you have the same doubts I do about, we know he can call plays. We know he's clever. I didn't even like their quarterback at UNLV when they got him. I thought, like, I watched him in the opener. I watched him last year. I'm like, well, he's better than he was at UNLV. I didn't think he was an elite player, but the reports out of USC is Lincoln really likes him. But do you have concerns about USC and culture building? Because there's a lot of, what makes Sean McVay great is not the schematics. Is the guy may be 5'10", he feels like he's 6'8". Yep. He's like, he walks there, he's half Abe Lincoln, half Nick Saban. He's like, he is half Warren Buffett. Like, it's just big. And Lincoln can kind of be soft-spoken, kind of be, feel sometimes indifferent to certain kind of conversations. Where do you land on him?
I think you have to you're in a really unique position because you get to be in the room with a lot of those guys. At the college level, I get to sit down with all of them. Most people don't get that. Most people may find themselves at some meet and greet one-on-one with their head coach, but they don't have the comparative analysis ability. I agree with your assessment about him. It is I got two big questions about him. One is the culture piece. There's a lot of noise coming from Brent Venables in the past couple of weeks about what they inherited there. You could pass that off as sour grapes. He could be shooting to you straight. I think it's worth paying attention to. And so when Lincoln goes to USC, thus far, what you described is what makes a great coordinator. But he's not the coordinator there. He's a head coach. So you got to be able to do more than just call plays and coach a position. It's about getting talent. It's about developing the talent. Now, one piece that they did is when they went and got Chad Bowden, the GM from Notre Dame, they were going to take in-state recruiting seriously. Like that was going to get turned up. I am very interested to see whether proof of performance on the field this year is necessary to keep that class together. That's one thing that I'm watching. The other thing that I've asked Chad about this, I've asked him, do you talk about like locking down the city, locking down the state? Do you really think there's enough line of scrimmage talent in the state of California anymore?
Good question.
He said yes. I disagree with that. But you know, he's running USC. I'm not. But even if all the talent's there, even if all the players are there, I have never thought that one possession loss metric is randomized. Turnovers sometimes are randomized year to year.
Yeah, turnovers are.
Dude, Nebraska kept losing one possession games because they didn't know how to win games. USC last year, the 5 fourth quarter leads that they lost, that's because they didn't possess the ability to take a game. And then go look at Kirby Smart in one possession games. He's got an incredible record. That's not by accident. So the question is, do you just flip that once you get better players? You may have less one possession games when you have better players, but the bottom line is even the best of the best are eventually going to find themselves in those positions. And you start talking playoff instead of let's make a bowl. That's a tightrope walk 100 feet off the ground instead of 10 feet off the ground. You fall 10 feet, it hurts. You fall 100, street pizza. So what you said is still in the back of my mind. Totally fair. And I don't think anyone inside USC, I don't think Lincoln himself can really push back on that. Because if he's honest, if you inject truth serum in him, he knows what it comes down to. You got to prove it. You don't say it, you got to prove it.
I was talking to a USC booster today, and I said that Illinois game.
That's it.
I said, I
said that's the hinge game.
They're not winning at Oregon. That's okay. They're probably not winning at Notre Dame. They're going to win their home games. I said, I don't know if they can win in Illinois if it's 39 degrees or 42 or windy. I said, that is the kind of game where, and Illinois is good. I think, this year they return a lot of guys on their lines. Offensive line, I think they may return 4 or 5 starters. Illinois is my dark horse team in the country. I don't think they're great, but I think they're really good, and they're going to knock people off. And if it's 44, I'm taking Illinois. I'll tell you right now, if it's 42, 44, Lincoln Riley has not proven he can win that game with discomfort. Josh Pate, what a pleasure. We're going to make this a regular thing on Wednesdays for our audience. I hope you guys enjoyed it listening as much as I did. I just have great admiration for your prep, your intensity. You're obviously a very bright guy. I love your work, and I want to say thank you. And this is the start of a lot of these sit-downs, and I loved it.
Love it, man. Love you, brother. I appreciate you having me. Can't wait for the rest of the year.